up, y'all? It's Jess. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do the next episode of Unread, Unsolved. The last time we were on here, y'all know I got a daughter. Her name is Leah. She's missing. Leah was just caught up in mess. She was caught up in mess. We found out last time that she had a secret bank account with like 3,000 pounds in it. The girl's 16 years old. Where's she getting 3 bands from? Where's she getting it? Where's she getting it from? We don't know. We don't know. And then we found out that she had a boss. Like she was an intern. She had an internship somewhere and had a boss named Victoria. And Victoria just now reaching out to us saying like, yeah, girl, I knew your daughter. She worked for me. She had an unpaid internship. Girl, who are you? And where did you come from? Leah been missing for like 3 months now. Like, I done became an alcoholic, stopped being an alcoholic, husband done left me, all that. We done had all that going on in the time that Leah went missing. And now all of a sudden this Victoria woman just coming out the blue being like, I know her. Can I help with the investigation? Yes, girl, you could have helped 3 months ago when I was off the wagon. That's when you could have helped. Anyway, let me stop getting stressed out. Let's just go ahead. We are supposed to be meeting Victoria, Leah's boss, Leah's old boss. We're supposed to be meeting her today at the coffee shop, at some coffee shop at 6:45 a.m. So let's meet her. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. Okay, y'all, here is Victoria's message. I text her at 6:43. I said, hey, I'm here. She said, just come and be 2 minutes. Okay, and then I guess we talked. She said, hi, Victoria. Thank you for telling me everything you could this morning. Like I said, you'll need to go into the station and make an official statement. My colleague, Eric Jones, will be able to help you with this. I'll let him know to expect you. She said, hi, Kate. Of course. It was nice to meet you. Wish it had been under happier circumstances. I'll head down to the station today and tell them everything I told you. And I said, girl, please tell them absolutely everything, because we done had some issues with with some more people that just like to withhold information. You know what I'm saying? Okay, tell them everything, Victoria. All right, here's Vanessa on my phone. Vanessa is the head teacher, y'all, at Leah's school. I text Vanessa. I said, hi, Vanessa. Sorry if I upset you yesterday or if I seemed insensitive. I do understand what you're going through, and I could have been more tactful. She said, thank you, Kate. I appreciate that. I said, it's not personal. I just need to interrogate everything and everyone connected to Leah right now and see where it leads. Vanessa said, I understand that, Kate. It's just not very nice being on the other end of that. I said, I know, and I don't enjoy it either if it helps. Thanks for clarifying the confusion about the homework planner, by the way. She said, of course, as you know, I'll do anything to help the investigation. I said, with that in mind, girl, could you answer a couple more questions about Simon, please? I'll keep it as brief as possible. She said, okay, I'll try. I said, do you believe he was where he said he was on the day Leah disappeared? Vanessa said, I got no reason not to, but like I said, he was being distant for a while with me, and I hated it because it reminded me of how he was years back. I said, when he was being unfaithful, girl, when he was cheating on you? She said, yep. I tried to ignore the niggling doubts. That's an interesting word. And tell myself I was just being paranoid that he'd learned his lesson. But it wouldn't go away and something didn't feel right, so I confronted him about it. I said, and he denied it. Vanessa said, yes, it led to a big argument, and he told me he needed some time apart. And when I got back from work, he left a note saying he was staying at his friend's place in the country for a few days. I said, did you check in with them or speak to Simon while he was staying there? She said, nope, I was pretty happy to see the back of him for a while. Not the back of him. And when he got back, we tried to move past it and pretend that nothing had happened. But I think we both knew there was no repairing the divide and lack of trust between us. And a few weeks ago, we finally decided to separate. I said, I'm really sorry, Vanessa. That sounds awful. It reminds me a lot of me and Sean, if I'm honest. Vanessa said, it must be nothing compared to what you're going through. I said, I do need to ask one more difficult question, sis. Was Simon ever violent to you, or did you ever see any signs that he might be violent to anyone? She said, nope. I said, girl, are you telling the truth? Are you telling the truth, Vanessa? And she replied, girl, let's go to my emails. Okay, remember I text Eric, or I emailed Eric yesterday in Unrd time, and I told him that Sean was shady and Sean was lying about where he was on my birthday. So Eric said, hey, Kate, wow, okay, your head must be all over the place. Give me a call if you want to talk anything through. I'll look over the bank statement and find the ATM location. I know Sean gave a statement as part of Leah's investigation, but it isn't in the case file. I don't know why. I'll dig into the records and see if I can find it. I'll get back to you as soon as I have something. Why is Sean's statement not in Leah's case file? Who is playing games with my daughter's case file? Oh my God. We got another picture, y'all. Okay, here's Victoria Travis, y'all, founder of Falcon Consulting. Okay, this is her LinkedIn page. Okay, y'all, Eric texted me. He said, Kate, I just read your email. Big news on the Leah case. This is really important. Danielle had asked me to get your help with another case, but if it's too much with everything else, that's fine. I said, nope, it's okay. I need something to keep me busy. If not, I'll just go around in circles trying to guess what's happening. He said, okay, I'll give you a quick call. Okay, hold on, y'all. Let's listen to Eric.
Hey, Eric.
Well, we just had a case come in that we could really use your help with.
Okay, what happened?
So an old man was found dead in his home. It looks like he's been poisoned, and we think it might have been a family member that did it. Could really use your opinion on this one.
Okay. Yeah, send me over what you got.
Thanks, Kate.
Okay, an old man went dead. Was found dead. And they think it's a family member, okay? Okay, y'all, here's the case file. I didn't even know we were going to jump into another case today. I was trying to get more tea on Leah, but listen, I'll always be ready to solve a case. I thought this going to be a Leah episode, but look, we can hop into the case, all right? We can do it. Here's case number 4, y'all. This Eric, he said, attaching the case file, just so you know, there was an error in the typing up of the file, and the time of death should be between 1 p.m. and 1 a.m. It's going to be a tough one. Lots of motives. And unfortunately, every suspect was someone the victim was close to. Remember, if you need to take a step back at all, just let me know. Shoot me a message when you had a look. Okay, Eric? Let's open this case. We on the case, y'all. We're getting on the case. All right, I'm going to disappear. Bye, y'all. All right, here's our case summary, y'all. 2 days ago, 84-year-old Bernard Mason was found dead at his home on Hawthorne Drive, where he lived with his daughter, his son-in-law, and his grandson. His daughter, Annette Smith, called emergency services when she couldn't wake him in the morning. Bernard had been suffering from stomach cancer for several years and took OxyContin on a regular basis for pain relief. The coroner ruled the cause of death as an overdose after finding high levels of alcohol, OxyContin, and ketamine in his system of the deceased. The time of death is estimated to be between, okay, Eric said it's between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. That's what Eric said in the email. Police found traces of liquid ketamine in a whiskey glass on the victim's nightstand and are treating the death as a homicide. Liquid ketamine. Okay. All right, here go my mans, y'all. Bernard Mason from Whitford, age 84. 84-year-old Bernard Mason was born in Whitford and spent the majority of his life there working as a traffic warden. He was well known in the community as a passionate and outspoken man and is survived by his daughter Annette and his grandson Christopher. Okay, here are our suspects, y'all. So we got Annette Smith, 44. Annette is Bernard's daughter and next of kin. Annette moved her family into her father's house in order to take care of him after he was diagnosed with cancer. She has worked as an officer at Hollingsworth Prison for the past 10 years. Annette will inherit 50% of Bernard's estate. Okay, that's a big amount. All right. Nigel Smith is 51. Nigel is Annette's husband, who also resides in Bernard Mason's home on Hawthorne Drive. He was made redundant from his job at a manufacturing company last year and has been unemployed since. Nigel was Bernard's primary carer in the months leading up to his death. Christopher Smith, 16, is Annette and Nigel's 16-year-old son, who lived in the house on Hawthorne Drive. Christopher attends the local high school and has a part-time job stocking shelves at the local supermarket. All right. And then Rose Barnett is 65. Rose had been in a relationship with Bernard for 2 years prior to his death. The couple began dating after Bernard was diagnosed with cancer. And Rose is set to inherit 50% of Bernard's estate. The girlfriend is getting 50% of Bernard's estate. Rose's home is only a 5-minute walk from Bernard's house on Hawthorne Drive. Rose, how did you, City Girls up 1,000, how did you get 50% of this man's fortune? That's crazy. All right, here's the next piece of evidence, y'all. This is a tray found on Bernard's bedside table at the scene of the crime. The pill box contains Oxycontin tablets, and high traces of ketamine hydrochloride were found in the whiskey. All right, y'all, let's go to the next piece of evidence. The next piece of evidence is the last will and testament of Bernard Mason. I, Bernard Mason, resident in the town of Whitford, being of sound mind, not acting under duress or undue influence, do hereby make, publish, and declare this document to be my last will and testament. All right, expenses and taxes. I direct all my debts and expenses of my last illness, funeral, and burial to be paid as soon after my death as may be reasonably convenient. Nominate my lawyer, Michael Drayton, as personal representative of my estate and executor of my will. All right, I devise and bequeath my estate, wherever situated, as follows. First beneficiary is my daughter, Annette Smith, with 50% of my estate. And then my partner, Rose Barnett, with the next 50% of my estate. That's crazy. The partner, the girlfriend, get 50% of the estate. Okay. Okay, here is the last piece of evidence, y'all. This is the medical examiner's office, the autopsy report. Alcohol was detected, ketamine was detected, Oxycontin was detected. And possible cause of death, drug overdose, homicide. Okay, we're going back to Eric. I said Oxycontin and ketamine washed down with whiskey. Yikes. He said, quite a cocktail, isn't it? I said, I'm guessing Bernard's cancer caused him quite a lot of pain. What made you rule out suicide? Eric said it's the drugs and the whiskey. If Bernard wanted to end his own life, he could have taken the bottle of Oxycontin. He wouldn't spike his own drink. And from the scene, it looks like someone brought him the night tray. I said, yeah, so it seems like someone was in the house. Any prints on the tray? He said, we found fingerprints belonging to all the suspects in the crime scene. That's the problem. I said, I see. He said, Nigel, Annette, and Christopher all live in the house and Rose had a key. They all stood to gain financially from the will. I said, it says 50-50 between Rose and Annette. Eric said, but Nigel and Christopher would benefit from Annette's share. I said, of course, money can be a powerful motivator. He said, exactly. So they all have a motive. It's not going to be easy to work out who did it. I said, the ketamine is a really strange choice of poison. Where would you even get that? Eric said, street or prescription. It's sometimes prescribed for pain or used as a tranquilizer, and people take it recreationally. It was found in liquid form in the whiskey. I said, it doesn't seem like the first thing you'd find if you wanted to get rid of someone. He said, you're right, that is not the most obvious choice. Most poisonings are committed with household substances. I said, that suggests this was premeditated then, planned, ordered, and then carried out. Eric said, yep, I agree. I said, that's so cold and calculating. You have them all in for interview today? He said, yep, you know the drill. But like we said, if it's too much, let me know. Danielle's been really happy with how it's all going so far. I'm sure she wouldn't mind. I said, nope, I can't put this down. One of these people did something heartless. We can't let them get away with it. Let me look things over and I'll let you know who I want to talk to first. I said, hey, Eric, I want to speak to Annette first. She's next of kin. I think she's got a clear motive and it'll be good to see how she reacts. This is pretty sinister. Someone who needs caring for, murdered by one of those he trusted. Guess you never know who you can trust. He said, I know. Hopefully we can get to the bottom of it. Do you need any more info? I said, I'm all set at this stage, although I assume we still have a team on site. Let me know if anything else comes up. He said, I will. They're just finishing off their searches. I'll get Annette in for 12-ish. I said, perfect. She had the most to lose and to gain. And Eric said, let's see how she holds up. Hey, Kate, Annette has arrived. She seems quite upset. I said, do you think it's genuine or an act? He said, I'll let you be the judge of that. I said, I'll be ready. This is Annette, the daughter.
As you've been told, I'm here to question you in relation to the death of your father. This is being recorded, so anything that you say may be submitted as evidence. I understand you were the one that found your father's body, is that right?
That's right. I knew something was wrong when it got to 8 o'clock and he hadn't called out asking for a cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Then there he was.
Now, someone spiked the drink that Barnet used to take his pain medication, and that's what killed him.
Are you sure? Are you sure it wasn't finally the cancer?
Yes, we are sure, Annette. So, do you know who gave Barnet his pain medication that evening?
No, and he takes it himself. But we all bring in things he wants throughout the day.
Mm-hmm. What was your relationship like with your father, Annette?
I can't lie, Detective. My father was a complicated man.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And I should say he didn't soften in his old age.
Okay. So my records say that you, your husband and your son moved in with your father after he was diagnosed with cancer. Is that right?
Yes, the idea was that I'd take care of him. But Nigel got made redundant, I've been doing long hours in the prison, and Nigel's had to bear the brunt of the care work. Because Lord knows Madame Rose isn't going to lift a finger.
Oh, that's Bernard's girlfriend, right?
Yeah, brass neck cow.
Oh.
We knew exactly what she was the moment she walked through the door with her nose in the air and a tacky handbag. I mean, we're stuck with Dad because we're family. What did she have to get out of the relationship, Detective? Apart from the money, of course.
You said that you were stuck with your father, Annette. Is that how it felt?
I didn't mean it like that. He was just demanding. Didn't like the fact I was going out working while Nigel was at home. Didn't like the way the house was. Didn't like much about anything, to be honest. It's just the way he was. But he was still my dad. So I rallied round, I made sure he was taken care of.
I see.
If anyone killed him, it was Rose. She had a key to the house, and she would have been in his bedroom.
Quick to point the finger, why is that?
I told you I don't like her. I'm sorry, but it's true.
I noticed that you worked as a prison officer. That can be a pretty demanding, gruelling job at times, I can imagine.
One thing my dad did give me was a thick skin, Detective.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, I know how many drugs float about these prisons, especially something like ketamine. It's in high demand. You could have probably easily got your hands on
Do you
something.
think I'd risk ending up inside after the things I've seen? And he was my dad, Detective. I could never do that to him.
Where were you at 11 p.m. on the evening that Bernard was killed, Annette?
I was at work, you can ask my employer.
I will be sure to do that.
Look, you should be interrogating Rose, not me.
Okay. Thank you, Annette. That's all for now. I will be in touch if we have any further questions.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, I'm gonna save my commentary. Eric said, how'd it go with Annette? I said, she's hard to read. She moved her family back in to take care of Bernard and has been working long hours to make it all work. It sounds like things have been really difficult. He said, I know what you mean, but sometimes desperation can get the better of good intentions. I said, yep. He said she was obviously very bitter about Rose and the inheritance. Her comments came out with a lot of venom. I said, that's true. It doesn't follow then that she want Bernard dead. Rose would get the money. I said, unless she framed Rose. If Bernard refused to take Rose out of the will, the only way that Annette could cut her out is if Rose is convicted of murder and she was quick to point the finger. Eric said, that seems like a stretch. It does seem like a stretch. I said, I know, but don't want to rule anything out until I have to. She said she was at work until late at the prison at Hollingsworth. Think you could give them a call? Get some confirmation? He said, sure thing. You're right to think she could have gotten access to ketamine there. But then I suppose drugs are easy to find everywhere in this town right now. I said, it feels like that, right? Like they're everywhere we look. He said, yep. I said, if it's not her, Annette was convinced Rose killed Bernard for the money. Said Rose had a key to the house and most access to Bernard's bedroom. Eric said, you want to talk to her next? I said, yep. Let's find out what she saw in old Bernard. He said, I'll line it up for one. He said, just spoke to the senior officer at Hollingsworth. He confirmed Annette was on shift. Her normal time is from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. He remembered as she was running late that night, and he had to let her in as she didn't have her pass with her. I said, how late? Eric said he wasn't certain, but said about 15 minutes. They don't have an official login system, so we'll have to take his memory on this. I said the time of death was between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. It doesn't rule her out, but would make it incredibly tight. Is there any way to check her movements more closely, CCTV or something like that? He said, I've asked. He's going to get their IT team to have a look over and let me know her exact movements. I said, okay, so we can't rule her out until we know for sure. He said, yep, true. Even if she was there, she could have been involved. I said, how? Eric said, maybe she and Nigel worked together. Think about what you said earlier. If they wanted Rose out of the will, Annette could have gotten the ketamine and Nigel could have administered it. I said, in it together, perhaps. There are simpler avenues to explore, though. Let's see what Rose has to say and take it from there. He said, I'll let you know first impressions when she arrives. I said, she's due for one, right? He said, yep. Rose is here. Seems like she's got a lot to say. Be ready.
Hello, Miss Barnet. I am here to question you in relation to the death of Bernard Mason.
It's BarNAY, Detective.
Oh, my apologies. I'm so sorry. Ms. BarNAY. The court is being recorded, so anything that you say may be submitted as evidence in a court of law. Do you understand?
I understand.
Good, okay. Do you mind me asking about your relationship with Bernard? How long were you together?
2 years. The best years of my life. I can't believe he's gone. I can't believe he was killed by his own.
Well, we don't know who killed him yet, Miss BarNAY. How did you two meet?
At the Over 60s Club. He was a wicked card player. The only man there still sharp as a tack.
And did you know he was ill when you met him?
Yes, he told me. And I thought, I doubt if cancer is going to beat this man. And I was right, it didn't.
So you would say that you two had a good relationship?
Not everyone got on well with Bernard. But he was a passionate man. He had a fire inside. He spoke his mind. And that's what I loved about him.
It is unusual that you are mentioned in the will, as you weren't married. Do you know why that is?
Bernard loved me. He wanted me to be taken care of.
Where were you the evening that Bernard was killed, Rose?
I was at home.
And where's that?
Church Lane, not far.
And were you with anyone? Can anyone vouch for your whereabouts?
I was alone. I was watching soaps.
Is it true that you had a key to Bernard's house?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Rose, who do you think killed Bernard?
My money's on Nigel.
Okay.
Annette is too much of a wet blanket. She spends all hours working away in that prison, and her husband can't even be bothered to make Bernie a sandwich. Bernard and Nigel occasionally have a whiskey together, although Nigel would have a whiskey with anyone. Have you spoken to Christopher yet?
No, not yet. Why?
His mum and dad think butter would not melt, but I can see through him. He has a room next to Bernard's, and you can hear him coming and going through the window through the night. It is disgraceful. That's not for me to say.
And did Bernard and Christopher get on?
Oh, no. Christopher is an ungrateful, snivelling thing. He has no charm. Not like Bernard.
Bernard's will shows you would gain quite significantly 50% of the inheritance. That's quite a lot of money.
Oh, I can see that Annette has obviously got to you. I loved Bernard. Not like most of his family who didn't. I wanted to be with him. I wasn't interested in his money.
Okay. I did a little bit of research into the substance found in Bernard's whiskey, ketamine.
I don't know what that is.
Well, it's a pain relief medication given to geriatric patients or palliative care. So someone in the over 60s group might well be able to get hold of some.
I don't know about that, detective, but what I do know is that it was his family who wanted him gone, not me.
Okay. Well, that's all for now. Thank you, Rose. I'll be in touch if there's any further questions.
Thank you.
I text Eric, I said, Rose put on quite a show. He said, yep. I said, she pointed the finger at everyone but herself. She claimed she and Barney were madly in love. Said his family didn't appreciate him like she did. That she wasn't in it for the money. Eric said, has she got an alibi? I said, nope. Claimed she was home alone watching TV, watching soaps. Who watches soap operas at 11 o'clock at night? But all right, girl. And she claims she lives nearby and has a key. Eric said, so it's possible it was her. I said, possible. She was definitely on the defensive. She knows we're considering everyone. Painted a bleak picture of Bernard's family, particularly Nigel and Chris. She said Nigel barely lifted a finger and was always on the booze. Said he often drank a whiskey with Bernard. Eric said that could explain the whiskey. I said, that's what I thought. She also said she hears Christopher sneaking in through his bedroom window at night, which is interesting. Maybe he was actually home that night and no one knew. Eric said, you want to talk to him next? I said, yep. He said, the usual 3 p.m.? I said, yep. There was one more thing Rose said which bothered me. She said Nigel wouldn't even make Bernard a sandwich. It was such a specific reference. I kept thinking of the picture of the tray and the sandwich. He said, sounds like a big coincidence. I said, exactly. Does Rose know a bit more than she should? Eric said, good spot. I said, yep, we'll see. He said something interesting came from the team at Bernard's house. A neighbor has come forward saying that they saw someone coming to the house fairly late. It was dark, so they didn't get a good look, but they are certain an individual approached the house late, entered the front gate, and walked towards the house before they lost sight of them. It could have been Rose or Christopher sneaking in from the side. We know Annette was working, so not her. Not sure about Nigel yet, but it will be good to find out his location and movements when you interview him. The more that comes out about this, the more sinister it seems to be. I said, interesting. Thanks, Eric, noted. He said, bringing in Chris for questioning first, though. Should be here shortly. I said, excited to question him. He said, Chris is anxious. I got him in holding. Kid seems anxious. Annette is going to sit in because he's under 18. She seems tense, too. I said, at this point, it could be any of them. I think they're all feeling it. I'll be ready at 3. It's the grandson.
Hi, Christopher. I'm questioning you in relation to the death of your grandfather, Bernard Mason. This call is being recorded, so anything that you say may be submitted as evidence. As you're under 18, your mother, Annette Smith, is sitting in here with you. Now, you must answer all the questions yourself. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, you've been living with your mother, father, and grandfather at Hawthorne Drive. Is that correct?
Yes.
Hello?
Okay, right. And what was it like living with your grandfather?
Fine.
Just fine?
Not great.
Not great? Well, why wasn't it great?
Well, we had to move in with him to take care of him because he didn't want to go into our home.
It sounds like you didn't really like living there.
He complained about everything. Like, literally every single little thing.
That must have been difficult.
It was. And he was tight.
Well,
He knew we didn't have any money and he never helped us.
so you thought that money was tight at home, Christopher?
Yeah, it was. Dad's been out of work.
I heard. Yeah. That must have been stressful for the whole family. Did you feel stressed at home, Chris?
We tried not to let him know. How bad?
Thank you, Annette. Let's let Christopher answer, yeah?
Right. Mind your business.
Did you feel stressed, Chris?
If I'm honest, I just tried to stay out of the house as much as possible.
That's not very nice, is it?
Well, I prefer being with my mates anyway.
Where were you the evening that your grandfather was killed, Chris? Around 11 p.m?
I can't remember. Probably the park.
The park? What were you doing that late at night in the
Just
park?
hanging out. Where we always go.
So, Christopher, who do you think is responsible for the death of your grandfather?
Rose, obviously.
And what makes you say that?
Inheritance. I heard Barnet on the phone a couple of days ago talking to her, saying that he was going to leave her everything and us nothing.
What? I didn't know that.
It's not on the files.
When it happened, and he was saying how she deserved it and that we were both useless. She probably put him up to it. Knocked him off so she could collect.
So you didn't like Rose either?
No. She was always having a go at me and always wanted me to call her Aunt Rose, but we're not even related. She just wanted Grandad's money.
Okay, well, I'll look into that phone call, see if Bernard did speak to his lawyer. You said you were with your mates in the park that night. Will they verify that? What are their names?
Yeah, ask them. Sam and Winston, they'll tell you.
Okay. I will get my colleagues to take their details from you, Christopher, okay? Right, I think that's it for now. I'll be in touch if I've got any further questions. Thank you.
I text Eric, I said, Chris definitely did not like his grandfather. It sounds like Bernard treated them all badly. Chris said he tried to be out of the house most of the time. He also said his mom and dad had been arguing about money a lot. Bernard knew they were struggling, but wouldn't give them anything. Eric said, did he seem angry about it? I said, yeah, a bit. He seems to hate Rose. Chris claims he overheard Bernard speaking to his lawyer, saying he wanted to change his will to leave everything to her. Eric said, that's not on record. We should talk to Bernard's lawyer, see if he can confirm that. I said, good idea. He said, I've got his details. I'll give him a call. I said, excellent. Chris also said he was at the park with his mates. Can you get their contact details and check his alibi as well? He said, will do. By the way, Nigel will be in for 5 p.m. I said, looking forward to hearing what he's got to say. Eric said, just spoke to Bernard's lawyer. He confirmed the conversation Chris told us about. Bernard wanted to change his will to leave everything to Rose. I said, wow, that changes things. He said no paperwork had been drawn up yet, but that's what Bernard wanted. I said Rose might have been after the money then. But why would she kill him before the paperwork was done? Right. Why would she do that? That's stupid. Eric said it doesn't track, does it? I mean, it's feasible she thought it was done, but it pushes the motive up on the family. They didn't want to lose their inheritance. I said, yep. You managed to get a hold of Chris's mates? He said, yeah, they confirmed they were all hanging out at the park that night, but neither of them knew exactly when Chris left. Sam said it was around 9, but then Winston said 12. I said, teenagers, so unreliable. Eric said, Nigel's up next. You think you'll get something useful from him? I said, somebody here knows something. I just got to put the right pressure on. He said, Nigel arrived. He doesn't seem too bothered about being here. I said, I'll see what I can get out of him at 5 p.m. Nigel is Annette's husband.
Hi,
Son-in-law.
Detective Finch.
As you have been told, I'm questioning you in relation to the murder of Bernard Mason. This call is being recorded, so anything that you say may be submitted as evidence in a court of law. Do you understand?
Well, I understand, but I've never heard of it being done on a phone before.
It is amazing what we can do with modern technology nowadays, isn't it? So, Bernard was your father-in-law, is that correct?
That's correct.
And am I right in thinking that you were his primary carer?
Yeah, well, I've been out of work lately, so I was helping out.
And I heard Bernard was quite the character.
Cantankerous old git, more like. Bernard the bastard, everyone called him.
That must have been tough, being in the house with him all day, then, caring, day in, day out, no thanks.
It wasn't that bad. And I've got a soft spot for miserable old men. I'll be one myself soon.
So, you got on all right then?
Well, he tolerated me. More so before, when I was still putting bread on the table.
A lot of people wouldn't look after someone else's family, especially if they were difficult.
Well, like I said, I was out of work. Besides, Bernard was family, of sorts.
Have you been looking for employment lately?
Yeah, my mate's lined up a job for me at the casino. I'm just waiting for him to come through. Shocking hours, but the pay's good, so that should keep us ticking over. Annette's not too happy about it, mind. Thinks it'll get me into trouble.
Oh? Why did you think that?
Well, I like to have a good time, detective. I love my wife, though. It's just that she's a bit on the serious side. She worries too much.
How are things between you and Annette?
Okay.
Just okay?
Well, things aren't easy, but we muddle through.
Did you bring Bernard his tray of medication that evening that he was killed?
No, I didn't.
Are you sure about that? Didn't you and Bernard like to have a whiskey of an evening?
Whiskey was the only thing that put a smile on the old geezer. Anyway, I was down a pub that night. You can ask them at the Ball and Horses. They'll tell you I was there.
I will be sure to do that. So who do you think killed Bernard then, Nigel?
Honestly, I think he probably did it to himself.
Well, if he wanted to end his own life, he could have taken his own pain medication. He didn't need to spike his drink.
Well, I don't know, detective. Those last few days, he was more tired than ever. Tired of being old, tired of being bitter, tired of his life, if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. Rose seemed to think he had everything to live for.
Did she now? That's really because she sees herself as everything.
You stood to gain quite significantly from the inheritance Annette would get. I will check your alibi with the Ball and Horses, Nigel.
You do that, detective. It wasn't me.
I don't like your attitude, whatever your name is, Nigel. I don't like your attitude. Okay, I told Eric, I said Nigel was interesting. Eric said, how did it go? I said he's trying to make out that looking after Bernard wasn't all that bad, but I think he's downplaying how bad things really were. He made out the financial strain between him and Annette was no big deal as well. Said he had a job lined up at a local casino arranged by his mates. Eric said that's the kind of place where you could pick up ketamine quite easily as well. I said that's very true. Eric said he could be pretending everything was rosy because he knows how suspicious he is. It's quite unusual to be taking care of your father-in-law like that, even if you are out of work. And everyone knew how difficult Bernard was. I said, you might be right. And Rose said Nigel often had the odd whiskey with Bernard. The whiskey in the ketamine glass has Nigel written all over it. He could have done it with or without Annette's knowledge. But he says he was at the Ball and Horses that night having a drink. Can you check that out? Eric said, will do. I said, thanks, let me know. I just need some time to think about all this. All of them have motive. I just need to check over the evidence. I got a bunch of Leah stuff. But again, I'm gonna put that on pause for now so that we can figure out this case. I done got deep into this case now. Unrd then got me deep into it, so we're gonna pause on Leah for a second. Okay, y'all, this ain't about the case. This is about Leah, but I have to read it because it's from Eric. So Eric said, hey Kate, just want to let you know Victoria came into the station and gave her statement. I'll get it written up and added to Leah's case file tonight. Just wanted to see how you're doing. I can't believe Leah kept this from you. I said, yep, it's hard to take. I thought I knew her. I know we had some distance, particularly in recent years, but I never thought this. I don't know what to make of it. He said, do you trust Victoria? I said, I don't know what to think of at this stage. She seems genuine and she's offering to come forward with information. But look at the situation with Bernard. You can't trust anyone these days. Eric said, I got your back. I'm going to dig through Sean's statement too. I just had a chance to look over Sean's transcripts, and there's some strange inconsistencies there. He had to amend his original statement after officers checked it. Eric said he was staying at a hotel that night. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but he had a young woman with him. We interviewed the hotel manager who reported it. I said, what the hell? Do they think it was Leah? First, he opened up a separate bank account for her. Was she in trouble and he was helping her out? I don't know what Sean was doing, Eric, but this is serious. Why on earth was this left out of the report? This is incredibly important information. Right. Who is lying around here? Eric said, I don't think it was Leah. I don't think it was Leah either. Suggestions think it's another woman. He was cheating on us. Eric said the description doesn't match. Look, Kate, I don't want to speculate on what he was doing. I think you should read through the transcript yourself so you can see. I'll send the case file update after 9 tonight by email, but trust me, when we get a hold of him, we will get answers. I hope we get a hold of him because he ain't been on the Suggestions channel in about 5 months here because, I mean, partly because of me, because I ain't been playing this game. But we ain't heard from Sean in years. Like, Sean has just not been answering no messages. So I hope you get a hold of him. All right, here go Eric again. He said, I know I dropped a bombshell on you, but I just spoke to the manager at the Ball and Horses. She confirmed Nigel was there till around 11 the night of. He's well known, so she knew who I was talking about. He could have made it home in plenty of time to deliver the drink before 1 a.m. I said, perhaps he's who the neighbors saw coming home late? He said, yeah, maybe. If it was him, there's a question of if Annette was involved at all. I said, true. So far, she's the only one in the family with a half-decent alibi, but even she isn't out of the picture. And Eric said, no, she is not. She is not at all. Everybody guilty in this family. Eric said, here's the case that just keeps on giving. I've been contacted by the team on site at Bernard's home. They found Annette's prison key card. It was lodged beside Bernard's bed, the lanyard broken. I said, like it was pulled off? He said, yeah, it could be. I said, I'm just not sure I buy Annette as a killer. She would have had to force Bernard to drink it, get out, and rush to the prison in record time. Her key card could have easily broken off when she was tidying Bernard's room on another occasion. Eric said, true, it's all circumstantial at the moment, but it certainly does not look good for her. I said, nope, more and more suspicious. Okay, let me bounce my thoughts off you. Potentially Annette with the prison key card left behind and her being late. It would have been a push, but she could have done it. However, if we discount her for a moment, then we're left with Nigel, Christopher, and Rose. We know money was tight. Eric said, yeah, Nigel downplayed it all, but it sounds like there was a lot of stress at home. I said it could have been enough for him to take desperate measures. He said, definitely. What about Rose? I find it peculiar that Bernard decided to leave everything to her and then was murdered. Perhaps she thought it was a done deal. They'd only been together a short time. I said she claims to have been in love with him, but I think she could have been playing him. She doesn't have an alibi and could have easily snuck in with her key to the house. Could she have been the one the neighbor saw? But she might have just been a convenient scapegoat. Eric said, yeah, it's easy for the family to point the finger at her. I said, and then there's Christopher. Rose said she always heard him sneaking in at night, and his friends can't pinpoint the time he supposedly left the park. Eric said he was the one who overheard the conversation Bernard had with his lawyer. Annette didn't seem to know. He could have wanted him and his parents to have inherited before Bernard changed the will. I said, true. What's the bet his friends at the park could get a hold of the drugs? Eric said, yeah. I said, the answer is in the evidence. It must be. I'll take one last look. And Eric said, okay, let me know when you're ready. I said, hey, I know we're down to the wire with this one, but I think I have an answer. Just needed to put the pieces together. Giving you a call now. I'm not sure. I don't have a good, like, 100% confidence level in this. But I have to point the finger at Christopher, the son, or the grandson, Bernard's grandson. And I'm gonna tell you why. Very quickly, I'm gonna keep this brief. So, in Christopher's interview, he had his mom with him in his interview, and I'm gonna place little spots, I'm put little screenshots in here, but my man's was looking off to the side, like kind of peeping his mama a lot in that interview. Like, anything that kid said, he kept like cutting his eyes over to his mama and trying to get like her sense of what her reaction was. It feels like it really felt like he was looking for cues from his mama the whole time during his interview. He looked like he was hiding something. Like, he just looked like he was hiding something.
We didn't get along well, but I could never hurt him. He was my father.
Okay.
It wasn't me. I loved Bernie more than his miserable family did.
Look, it wasn't me. I was at the park with my friends.
I don't think so.
I wouldn't kill old Bernard. He wasn't all that bad. Anyway, I was down the pub.
Yo. I'm gonna say Christopher, y'all. I think it's Christopher. I really think it's Christopher.
Yeah, you're right. Chris left his gum on the tray when he gave it to Bernard. I'm gonna go talk to him now.
That was gum! I knew something would...
This is Detective Eric Jones, here with Christopher Smith and Annette Smith. The time is now 8:31 p.m.
Get him, Eric.
You almost got away with it, Christopher.
Almost.
What is this? What are you talking about?
Your son, Annette. Seems he left something behind in your father's bedroom after he delivered the night tray.
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't do such a thing.
Well, his chewing gum proves the contrary.
Uh-huh.
I'm willing to bet that the piece we found will match perfectly with his DNA once he goes off for analysis. You snuck in through your bedroom window after leaving the park, didn't you, Christopher? You put the drugs in Bernard's drink.
Look, you don't understand. He was going to leave everything to that woman he hardly knew. He was horrible to all of us, Mom, especially you. And we did everything for him.
Christopher.
Oh, he was sick anyway, he was going to die soon. I'm not going to prison, am I?
Yes!
You'll be tried as a juvenile, as you're only 16. But you will go to court, Christopher, and you will be prosecuted for the murder of Bernard Mason.
You going to jail. You going to jail. What up? What's up? It was Christopher, 56%. What's up? Let's go. All right, y'all. I was halfway right. It was halfway right. I was halfway right, y'all. I thought that Annette knew more than what she was saying. I thought that his mama was in on it more based on the end credit, like that little end scene, it didn't seem like she knew much. I think she's still lying. I think she's still lying. It was Christopher. I saw that piece of gum in the evidence, and I didn't know what it was. Like, I didn't connect the dots of the gum. That was good. Now, in hindsight, yes. In hindsight, that makes sense. And that makes the most sense. It would have made this a lot easier if I would have connected those two. But, it's fine. We got to the end anyway. We got to the final answer. We got to the correct answer, Thanks so much for watching. I ain't forgot about Sean, my husband. I ain't forgot about that man cheating on me, allegedly. I ain't forgot about him. We got that little nugget somewhere in the middle of this case file. I ain't forgot about him. I'm about to turn this right off. I'm about to turn this video right off, and we're going to jump into Leah and them. We're going to jump into that Leah case because, look, Sean cheating on me. I found out Sean was cheating on me, and he opening secret bank accounts for my daughter. I got some issues with him. I got some issues with him that we need to talk about. We gonna talk about that in the next video though, okay? Like, we ain't gonna talk about that today. But we solved the case of BarNAY. R.I.P. BarNAY, Bernard Mason. Your family is trash. I'm sorry your family is trash. But I mean, allegedly he was trash too. So, sorry for all y'all. I guess y'all all trash, so I don't know. R.I.P. R.I.P. anyway, because you didn't deserve to overdose on ketamine while you were drinking whiskey and had cancer. What's wrong with your family? Your family trash, bro. Your fictional family is trash. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. Be sure to subscribe if you have not already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.